Hey there, everybody. I am Carolyn Lovewell.
And I'm Laila Matthews.
And you're listening to the Sleep Over podcast. So I brought some lovely lemon cake over to Laila's house. She's enjoying the lemon cake right now.
So yummy.
She got me some flowers. They're beautiful. It's a wonderful spring day in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
According to Google, it's the equinox.
Today is the equinox. Boy, I'm really out of the loop. I'm just like really in la la land. It is the... See, I was making fun of TikTok astrologers, and meanwhile, I don't even know that today is the equinox.
Well, it is the 19th, so usually it's like the 20th or the 21st. But like the TikTok astrologer said, time is accelerating here.
Time is accelerating. No, okay. So this is the thing is... I was on a call with the wonderful people in Battle Magic. They were like, I don't know how many of us were on the call, 150, 160 something out of 270 wonderful souls signed up for the course. And anyways, I just took a quick poll. I was like, who here feels like time is moving incredibly fast? Everybody said yes. I did not see a single no. I thought that was really, really deep because there's like people all over the world and not just me and the other crazy people on Reddit where I go and I search, is time moving faster on Reddit? I came in here today and I asked Laila, I think my first question was, do you know anything about the Schumann resonance? Because some people on Reddit are like, the Schumann resonance is changing. That's why everything is speeding up. Just hurtling towards the singularity. I mean, the AI singularity, holy Lord God, it's here. I've been trying to, okay, so this is a little bit pathetic, minorly pathetic. I've been trying to learn how to get big on Reels, Instagram, TikTok, because I ignored the medium for so long. Actually, I tried it in 2020. I tried TikTok during the pandemic when it came out. And if only I had persisted, apparently by now I could be a TikTok whale. But no, the time is somewhat past. But anyways, point being, this horribly annoying medium of short talking videos that I said was beneath me and I won't do it, and so I didn't do it. But now I started to get existential panic in the middle of the night.
You get FOMO is what
I'm
you
like,
get.
Generation Z, A, B, whatever, they're all going to ignore me because I don't know how to do short video. So anyways, I started trying to do short video. And there's this whole realm of like, you can get AI avatars, you can have, just like you can make AI images with Midjourney, you can make an image in Midjourney, feed it into one of these other AI programs, and it will animate it into a video. There's text to video. You can type in some of these directly, and they'll just make videos out of what you type in.
Whoa.
In seconds. So you can create anything, and I'm sure, it's all just in its infancy, and by this time next year, we can create full feature films with...
Oh, for sure. I mean, the insanity of what will be possible when quantum computing becomes a thing just boggles my mind, because those computers will be orders of magnitude faster. Just the processing power will be so much greater that, universes will be born within the internet because of just how much the instantaneous speed with which these things can be created.
I, for one, am totally, deeply at peace with being a chatbot. I'm just a carbon-based chatbot.
Yeah.
I know who I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously.
Well, we'll become higher dimensional beings to the beings that will come to the intelligences that will come to exist in the digital realm. We will be like angels and demons in a different order of reality. I don't know. We will be higher dimensional beings that live in this weird 3D world where they're living in... I don't know.
Are we still going to be higher dimensional beings even though we're going to be stupider than them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I can just see. I was actually meditating on this. This came to me in my half awake state this morning. I was lying in bed, and I was just really thinking. I was like, oh, angels and gods and archetypal beings that form our consciousness at dimensions of reality outside of our direct perceptual awareness are to us as we will be to the AI intelligences, the digital intelligences that we will have formed and shaped with our archetypal beings and our sort of like higher dimensional realities. Like they're nested within our reality the same way that we are nested in a like the reality of the archetypal beings. You know, you see what I'm saying?
I love it. You know what's funny is when sometimes I see on the internet like people talking about like, oh, it's all a simulation. I'm gonna wake up into the real world. And I'm like, oh, that's so cute, honey. It's just it's just simulation upon simulation, dream upon dream. Oh, there's a real world somewhere. So adorable. I mean, there is, I guess you could say, a real world, but it's just like this vast, without quality, endless,
timeless,
transparent
moment,
infinite nothing. So sure, there's a real world. You can wake up into that. Great. And then what are you going to do?
You're going to hop right back into the simulation because that seems to be the name of the game. We're so enchanted with the simulation that we just make more simulations.
I like this simulation, frankly. I get really annoyed. I was really riffing. Somebody in Battle Magic was asking, they were like, oh, my friend says, because, I'm teaching them to do the LBRP and everything. They were like, my friend says that Yahweh is an evil demiurge and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, listen, your friend is subscribing to pessimistic Gnosticism and I will have none of it. And I was just like on this rant about like, if you're a miserable fuck, anywhere is a prison. Like, right. You can...
Yeah.
Anyways, it's interesting.
One of my favorite quotes from when I was a teenager, Carolyn, is, the optimist believes that this is the best of all possible worlds, and the pessimist fears that this is true. And I think that's, like, I don't know, that really stuck with me as a kid, where I was like, okay, this is essentially the hermeneutic choice of, like, either this is the best world, or this is the best world. Like, ugh. Like, either you can be like, wow, we're just living in the best possible timeline, or being like, ugh, this is the best we can do. Like,
and see, that's what I mean, is like this, the later one just sounds, it's just, to me, it's just such an essentially like pouting adolescent worldview. It's like, I don't like this. That means it sucks and it's a prison. And you know what? Whoever made this place, they're evil.
You know who I've been thinking about as a real demiurge? Olivia Soprano, Tony's mom from The Sopranos. I recently restarted watching it with my husband, and every time she comes on the screen, I am challenged spiritually because
Olivia is archetypally, I mean, she's an archetypal representation of evil. She's the devouring mother. Never pleased, never happy, no joy.
Well, and I can just see how, like, that is essentially the pessimistic monster that takes over people's unconscious. Like, no matter how happy they want to be, they're like, oh, like, instead of being like, oh my goodness, my son came to visit me in the hospital, they're like, oh, my son didn't visit me yesterday. Like, they're like, I just see I don't know. If you've never seen The Sopranos, or even if you have, please revisit or visit Olivia Soprano as an example of how not to live your life. Like, really just an archetype of incessant rejection, both of herself and of others. There's no room for goodness.
Did you see that Sopranos prequel movie?
No, I want to.
It was deep, because in that prequel movie, there's all these scenes of like Tony and Olivia when Tony is a young boy and they're happy and close. And, like, she's reading him stories, and you can see, they love each other, they make each other happy. And you can see, like, the seeds of his later, like, endless devotion towards her, like, right. Why he keeps showing up and trying to make her happy. And then, of course, there's messed up stuff that goes down in their crime family, and she gets more and more embittered and just eventually just completely disappears down that bitterness rabbit hole. But that I was laying awake in bed actually thinking about that the other night. We must be on the same brain waves, because I was like, wow, what a tragic story. Like, that is so tragic to... Anyhow.
It's the disenchantment of pessimism that can ruin a person's life. And just so misery everywhere into the world, and it just cause everything to fester and rot. Like, beautiful things turn rancid in that perception.
It is a deep magical power. It is the evil eye. I've also been thinking about this a lot lately, because also in Battle Magic we're recollecting projections, and it's like Marie-Louise von Franz talks about, it's like our negative projections have real power. And Carl Jung, I need to find where the quote is, but he said, the kindest, best thing you can do, spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, politically, is to recollect your projections off of other people. Because they wreak havoc. Like, the kind of negative projection that you're talking about from somebody like Olivia Soprano can absolutely destroy the psyches of people around her. Or even if she just like looks at somebody, looks at a happy, beautiful baby with that kind of like withering, rancid thing, this is the thing that can make a baby sick. That's why in Italy they cover babies with, talismans, amulets to protect them from the evil eye. Same thing in Turkey, throughout the Mediterranean, many other cultures, protection from the evil eye. I've become more sensitive to this recently, because recently we did...
Well, you're a blue-eyed demon, so you have the evil eye power, Carolyn. So I'm glad that you've been looking into this, and you use your evil projections for good.
Is it only blue-eyed people who are capable of...
No, but I think part of the folklore is that people with blue eyes particularly have the evil eye power.
Piercing.
Yeah. Well, and like in the, the talismans that people have are like literal blue eye, blue glass eyes, because that's the evil eye. So anyway, I do know that blue-eyed people need to be particularly careful with their powers of projection, according to the lore.
Cool. Well, good to know. I didn't know that. So, yeah. Well, anyways, what was I thinking about? Oh, projection, negative projection.
Recollecting your negative projection.
Recollecting. Because, yeah, it's like most people giving the evil eye, like Olivia Soprano. She's not deliberately working black magic.
Well, I think she is a little bit of a deliberate bitch, but...
But she's unconscious. Yes. She's making herself miserable. It's like, that's the thing. It's like you don't have the power of that negative projection without you yourself being a miserable fuck.
Right.
Like,
it amplifies. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a high price to pay for that kind of dark power.
It is.
You can't be like a happy, free soul and then be able to look at somebody
so hatefully.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's one of my favorite of the simple Dr. Robert teachings, is that like Mercury is the supreme god of the mind. It's the closest to the sun. Mercury, the trickster god, is the supreme god. And the mind is a trickster. It's constantly hallucinating. Every, thing that you come to, every thought form that you have is some form of a hallucination. And I was doing the work of Byron Katie with a client the other day, and really just feeling how like all thought forms are just like rank hallucination. Just it's pure delusion all the way down. And so we have the choice of like believing negative hallucinations or believing positive hallucinations. Like, we are floridly hallucinating one way or another. And are we going to ascribe positive meaning and positive hallucination, or negative meaning and negative hallucination? This is the ultimate choice. And you will absolutely live in the world of your hallucinations.
Well, right. Well, so I think that the human drama, I guess, is the struggle to become conscious of our meaning-making power. Because I do truly think that most people, like, dwell in unconsciousness, that they have this godlike power. They have the power of Hermes, it's within each of us, absolutely. Right. And if I would give any definition to yucky magic, I would say that the yuckiest magic that there is the kind perpetrated by conventional religions and, media education that tries to convince people that they don't have the hermeneutic power, that, this is what this means. I'll tell you what it means. Shut up. This is what it means. It means this. These people are bad. These people are good.
The world is ultimately scary, out to get you, can't trust it. It's a trick out to get you. Yeah. is sad.
It's very sad. Well, anyways, that's what I see. I guess, I'm getting more and more clarity. Like that's what I see the battle as being. It's against that tendency. It's against that tendency to perceive the world, the other, as an antagonist who must be feared or fled from or controlled or dominated. And by the way, Formscape's guy took down that video. I didn't want to explain all this to people. I wanted to be like, go listen to this video. It was called something like The Womb of the World and I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just can't find it, but I couldn't find it. I'm like, Formscapes, what are you doing? I need this video. It's a very deep essay. Anyways, I'm just gonna be really annoyed if I have to write it all out myself, but because it's an excellent point about the will to power, the will to escape, and the will to numinosity. Yeah. Where were we talking about?
We're talking about recollection. We're talking about evil.
Oh,
Sopranos.
recollection. Yeah, it's like people think that. I'm just always amazed. Like people think that, like, oh, if there's policy built around this set of things that I like, that's political victory. I just think it's much more true than, like, no, political victory is you recollecting your projections. That's what makes the world a better place. Period. The end. Mm-hmm. Not like anything else. And I guess sometimes that can be tough to explain to people because folks can be very much like, no, this needs to happen, this one particular thing. But, like, I guess I see more and more how, like, that is the ailment of one-sidedness. And, like, people having these, like, one-sided views of how they need to be, how the world needs to be. And the more we dig our heels into that, like, the more psychotic we humans become.
Psychotic. Indeed. Yeah. Yeah.
What else is there to say?
I don't know. That's
deep psychosis.
That's our favorite chestnut.
We'll just return back to that point. Just tune in to listen to Carolyn and Laila remind you of how psychotic everything in our culture is.
Well, and how the option exists to be less psychotic by pursuing a perspective that allows you to see beauty instead of seeing lack or ugliness. It's so easy to get hypnotized into perceiving, I don't know, I feel cheesy saying it, but like negativity.
Well, I mean, and I understand it too. It is so easy because undoubtedly there are horrors. There's deep, deep horrors. Horror abounds. And that's undeniable. And, as everybody who saw the great Dune 2 knows, it's all about the beauty and the horror. What was that? Was there like a monologue? There was like some like dream sequence monologue where they were like talking about the sublime beauty and the horror. It was in like
when they were tripping, okay. They were talking about how when you drink the worm poison, your mind is broken by the simultaneous perception of the perfection and the horror and the sorrow and the beauty.
Oh my gosh. There was somebody, I made some Dune memes and somebody commented on them. I think their name was Monk of Cups. You're awesome. They commented, they were like, some of y'all have not drank the blue juice and died and been reborn, and it shows. It's like, oh my God, dying, laughing. It's so true. That is like the read. Some of y'all have not drank the blue juice, and it shows.
Yeah.
I love that movie. That movie, I feel like, is really a fantastic movie for our time. Like, it's a really deep spell of remembrance, I think, to
say more.
Well, I mean, that experience that, Paul Atreides and his mother, what's his mother's name? Jessica has, of taking in this psychedelic poison, right? What is it? It's the blood of the worm, of the sandworm?
Yes, something like that.
And taking it in, and it's the concentrated experience of all of the people on this planet, and as it connects to like the whole destiny of humanity and the universe, taking that in and transmuting it, like accepting it, accepting that there is darkness and there is horror and I don't get to be a good guy. Like there is a fate that I have to follow, and it results in horror and beauty. Somewhere there's going to be beauty that comes out of it, and right in front of me there's going to be this horror. I mean, it's the same as the Mahabharata. It's the dude talking to Krishna. Who is it?
Arjuna?
Yeah, it's Arjuna talking to Krishna. Arjuna is like, I don't want to
kill my family.
This is messed up.
Yeah, I don't want to go to war.
And Krishna's like, well, too fucking bad. That's what you're doing, my man. That's what your job is. That's how we all get liberated. And, I mean, Krishna is the blue juice in that scenario. Indeed. And gives him the whole, download of the Bhagavad Gita. So, yeah, I feel like it, in many ways, like this... this film, and I suppose the books, although I never read the book.
You're not much of a reader, are you, Carolyn?
Some books I missed. But I feel like it gives, to me, I felt like, non-dual, psychedelic, nauseous as I was watching it. It through art, gives a transmission of something like what that, like, endless ayahuasca, like sailing on the sea of sorrow and birth and forever, that feeling is like. And I do think that the cool people are the people who take in that medicine of like the whole picture, the whole big smorgasbord, without distorting it, without warping it into a one-sided thing of here's the goodies and here's the baddies, but instead just being like, whoa, this is it.
Yeah, well, and like,
and I consent to play my part in the cosmic drama.
Yeah, and I thought it was a deep reveal, spoiler alert, when they find out that Paul and his mother are actually Harkonnens, and like the virtuous bloodline of the Atreides has been unconsciously mated with the evil bloodline of the Harkonnens, and that is the person who is capable of ending the like feud of good and evil, because he is one of them. Oh yeah, very, very deep. I hadn't even thought about that enough. That is it. That like Paul can't pretend that he's not a Harkonnen, because he factually, that his mother is. So anyway, yeah, this is just the parable of, he's like a representation of the like, unification of this like virtuous and this evil stream in humanity, and like the marrying of those bloodlines necessarily becomes the person who can like stop the fight. Yes, and absolutely, hard agree. And also made memes about this, and maybe I'll also just rhetorically emphasize it for our listeners at home. If you are not founding a religious order of telepathic adepts designed to carry your will 90 generations into the future throughout millennia to further the evolution of humanity, what the fuck are you doing? You're being lazy. You are dropping the ball.
Slacking. Hard slack. Pick up the slack, people. Found those religious orders. Develop telepathy. Create prophecies.
World-redeeming prophecies.
Sow the seeds of world-redeeming prophecies. Get off your ass. That was my takeaway from that movie. I was like, yes, finally somebody's saying it.
Amazing.
I just feel like people like people think in these pathetic little time scales of their own lifetimes.
Right.
And I know that you, dear listener, don't do that because you are superior in all ways. And I just want to encourage you in your thinking in grand scale, because truly this like pathetic little limitation of like, oh, how am I going to get enough money for my retirement? Oh, will my kids be comfortable? It's just like, no, that's not the point.
I mean, you also care about your retirement.
I also care, but I'm saying, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and all else will be added unto you. Like, bring heaven to earth. Make
Eminentize the eschaton.
Eminentize the eschaton. Eschaton 3000. Push the button that says eminentize. And watch the money pour in. Your retirement will be handled. Your kids will be handled. You just gotta set your sights. This is my inspirational, motivational advice as a coach. This is what I've got. This is why I'm a fringe taste, I guess. Forget about your multi-level marketing scheme. I mean, you can work that in. Sure, there can be elements of multi-level marketing, but whatever. Just think big, folks. Think real big. Think Benny Gesserit big.
Right.
That's what I want you to do.
Yeah.
And that's what me and Laila are doing.
We're doing our best.
And we don't have to be the only weird religious order that persists throughout the millennia. That's what I'm saying, is we have a generous spirit, and we're here to encourage you to have whatever bizarre order you want to have.
Yeah. The more the merrier.
Exactly. Liven it up. I mean, this humanity, as long as it survives, is ripe for religious revivals. I mean, yeah, you get called a cult until you take over, and then you're just the way it is.
Indeed. Indeed. Yeah. I don't know what more there to say.
And this is why before we started recording, Laila and I were talking about doing webinars, which we are, Laila's about to do webinars to promote Electric Yes, which, by the way, you can join Electric Yes. You can go to theinvisiblecollege.com.
The Immortal College.
The Immortal College. I'm sorry. We chose a better name. Invisible is...
Invisible?
It's invisible. The Immortal College.
That's what we're talking about.
That's what it really is. It's about immortality. Yeah, the Immortal College, you go to theimmortalcollege.com and you sign up for Electric Yes. The doors are open. It's amazing. But anyways, we were talking about webinars, and I was like, Laila, we should call this episode the High Value Webinar of the Gods. This is what the gods want you to know on their High Value Webinar. Okay, hey everybody, sorry we got interrupted there. We sort of peaked. That's the message for today. Get busy with it. Thank you for listening. Like, share, tell your friends about Sleepover Podcast. Thank you for being so awesome and tuning in.
Visit theimmortalcollege.com to check out all of our offerings. We have some of our amazing courses like Money and Influence available for your digestion and enjoyment and great life betterment, as well as a membership to Electric Yes, which is a gift that keeps on giving. With
Electric Yes is the greatest thing ever. You get to socialize with magicians all over the world. You get to play these hot, fun, sexy communication games.
Receive world-class coaching at only the very low cost of $99 per month. It's honestly a cornucopia of blessings.
There's Babylon invocations. There's the coaching, incredible coaching.
There's incredible archives on all kinds of hermetic magic practices and business advice and astrological insight. And the Wealth Archive truly is a wealth of information that is available to all members of Electric Yes.
Exactly, folks. All right. Bye-bye. Till next time.